Vecna, also known as the Lich. This is for the Dungeons and Dragons viewers out there. The Whispered One, Lord of the Rotted Tower, the Master of Secrets. These were the titles Vecna was given from his victims, for a few wouldn't dare say his true name, for fear he might hear them, or worse. Vecna's command of magic was powerful, even as a young wizard. He would effortlessly master each school of magic, and after his mother was executed, he would obsessively focus all his studies on the darkest magic, necromancy, the magic of life and death. He uses the Book of Vile Darkness to fill his thirst for dark knowledge, bringing him to many realms and planes, yet one of his servants from their own realm found what seems to be a spell torn from an ancient tome, written in a language he had never seen before, but he can sense an incredible dark energy. Vecna spent months analyzing and documenting this unknown language, ignoring any problems his lieutenants came with. The one time he left his keep was when he went to investigate the disappearances that randomly happened throughout the night, believing that whoever's magic is causing this might also be the same one that made this strange script. He was confused, furious. All this had no pattern, no common motive. To what end did this magic need these bodies? One night, however, he had a breakthrough. A word that had been interpreted, disappearing. It made sense since these people seemed to be taken to a different place, alive, not killed off. Copying what he learned to a fresh piece of parchment, he began to speak the words aloud. The room darkened as it started filling up with a creeping black fog, taking Vecna to a different realm. At first he resisted, using every spell he remembered, but as he gazed into the darkness, he felt that alluring dark energy. Curiosity got the better of him as he allowed the fog to take him. He knew that whatever secrets the entity had, one day he would learn its magical powers and make it his own. And what a powerful dark wizard he ended up being. Vecna's ability, known as Vile Darkness, grants him with 4 different abilities. Fly allows him to take flight above pallets and windows to quickly catch up to Survivor. Flight of the Dam allows him to conjure 5 flying entities that can pass through obstacles and hit survivors, triggering Killer Instinct unless a survivor is crouching. So think of it like Diacrow's from the artist. Dispelling Sphere allows him to cast a big invisible sphere, causing survivors that are caught in it to trigger Killer Instinct and disable any magic item for 60 seconds. And Mage Hand allows him to spawn a hand to bring a drop pallet upright again or block it from being used by survivors. Over time, survivors can counter these by finding magical chests containing random magical items. They can only hold 2 items, one for the gauntlet and one for the boots. Each of these allows survivors to see the auras of different magical powers Vecna conjures. Skyguard lets survivors see Vecna flying, Nightwatch lets survivors see auras of the flying entities, Archivist makes the Dispelling Sphere visible to survivors, and Interloper reveals auras of pallets affected by the Mage Hand. Before the chest opens, a 20-sided die used in actual D&D sessions gives you better working items the higher the number goes. Get a 1, however, that chest ends up being a mimic and you take damage. 20 can give you either the Hand of Vecna or the Eye of Vecna. Hand of Vecna allows survivors to rush into a locker and teleport to a different one, allowing survivors to quickly get away from Vecna. They lose a health state, however, and trigger a loud noise notification and Killer Instinct. And Eye of Vecna suppresses their aura, scratch marks, blood pools, and even grunts of pain, granting them complete invisibility and haste. This triggers Killer Instinct, though, after becoming visible. The only downside of having either the Hand or Eye of Vecna can grant him the ability to recover the artifact back after putting the survivor on the second hook state. This gives him a little mini-mori to execute them on the spot. I know, that was a lot to talk about. And we still have his perks to talk about. Vecna's perks allows him to permanently increase your vaulting speed at the cost of being more vulnerable to being blind or stunned, cause a survivor to be exhausted after scaring off a crow within 36 meters from you for 6 to 10 seconds, and cause an aura of a survivor item that is dropped to be shown, along with an aura of survivors 8 meters away from the item. This also causes survivors to be oblivious for 20 to 30 seconds after picking it up. Overall, Vecna gets an easy A tier for me. When he was first out, because of all these powers that were given to him, he was definitely a little overpowered, but it didn't stop everyone that I knew from geeking out when this season was announced. I never played Dungeons & Dragons before, but I got some friends that played the shit out of it. So it was no surprise that they would re-download this game again purely for this season. I can only imagine a fight between him and Voldemort, another dark wizard that people were also afraid of mentioning his name. I wonder who would win that fight.